Hello, welcome to Levant TV headlines. An Israeli airstrike on the Syrian city of Quneitra near the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights has killed 6 fighters of Lebanon's resistance movement Hezbollah, including a commander. Kurdish fighters battling the Islamic State jihadist group in Syria's Kobani have captured a strategic hilltop, giving them line of fire over the town. And Iran's foreign minister says that he could hold fresh talks with US Secretary of State John Kerry this week on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos. Saudi border guards have been given orders to shoot infiltrators on sight after 3 troopers were killed on the Iraqi frontier earlier this month. And Libya's army has announced a ceasefire, joining Fajr Libya and declaring a truce that the UN hailed as a significant step towards ending months of violence and armed conflicts. And now let's have a look at top headlines in today's newspapers in the Middle East. The Khalij Times in the UAE leads reporting that Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum and General Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan received Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, President of Egypt, in Abu Dhabi yesterday and discussed ways to boost ties and existing bilateral cooperation. The paper also reports that Saudi and UAE security agents have disrupted a heroin trafficking network, seizing large amounts of the drug and arresting 2 Pakistanis. From Lebanon, the Daily Star leads reporting that the Lebanese army and UN peacekeepers have intensified their patrols along the blue line on the border with Israel as tensions mounted over Israel's weekend strike on Syria's Golan Heights, which killed 6 Hezbollah members and a senior Iranian commander. The paper also reports that Parliamentary Speaker Nabih Berri has called a meeting of Parliament's joint committees for Thursday to discuss a draft law that would establish a food safety monitoring committee. The Egypt Independent reports that Suzanne Thabit, wife of the former President Hosni Mubarak, said that she did not seek to bequeath Egypt's rule to her son Gamal because, quote, "the life I have lived with my husband was not really fantastic, so I never wished for my son," unquote. The paper also reports that the Yemeni army and Houthi fighters have clashed near the presidential palace in the capital Sana'a in the sharpest escalation of tensions since the Shiite Muslim movement took over the city in September. Now papers in the UK. The Guardian leads Middle East News reporting that a former advisor to Saudi Arabia has said the country can withstand 8 years or more of low oil prices as tensions over the price slump simmered between the world's biggest oil exporter and Iran. Mohammed Al-Sabban said that Saudi Arabia was concerned about the falling oil prices, but its cash reserves and planned budget cuts meant it could cope with a long period of depressed prices. The Independent leads Middle East News reporting that ISIS fighters are understood to have gained up to 700 men from moderate rebel groups along the Syrian border with Lebanon, where the terrorist organization is now poised to attack. The news comes as reports emerged this week that ISIS is actively recruiting and operating across the south of Afghanistan, according to the country's military. Also from London, the Telegraph reports that rebel Shia Houthis battled soldiers near Yemen's presidential palace and elsewhere across the capital, seizing control of the country's state-run media in a move an official called a step towards a coup. Many believe deposed President Ali Abdullah Saleh, ousted in a deal after the Arab Spring protests, has orchestrated their campaign. Now let's have a look at international papers. The International New York Times leads Middle East News reporting that an Israeli helicopter strike in Syria killed 5 Hezbollah fighters on Sunday, including the son of the group's slain military commander Imad Moghniyeh. Hezbollah said as a member briefed on the episode described the attack as a provocative move by Israel. And finally, Germany's Deutsche Welle reports that the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe says the world will suffer if terrorism spreads in the Middle East, pledging millions of dollars in non-military assistance to countries fighting the Islamic State. And during a speech in Cairo, Abe promised $2.5 billion in non-military assistance and a further $200 million in non-military assistance to states affected by the Islamic State group's expansion. And for more updates, please visit us on levant.tv. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again tomorrow, and bye for now.